Hello,
What's
good
up?
afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, NBs, how is everybody doing? This is Desperate for Content.
It
I'm
is, yeah.
Jim, and he's a portion of spum.
I yeah, I've set my username to this podcasting site software slash thing as a portion of spum because I'm an adult.
Absolutely exposed for the degeneracy that's going on in this Zencaster right here.
Do you know where? Well, it might not be where spum comes from, but do you want to know where I first heard the term spum?
Yeah, sure.
It was I can't remember whether it was specifically a general college humor sketch or a Jake and Amir sketch, but they're talking about it's like the premise of the sketch is like a bunch of dudes sitting around at dinner time at work and just like talking about, oh yeah, if I was gay, like my type of man would be whatever. So they go around the table. One of them's like, oh yeah, I'd like a short guy, and one of them goes, yeah, I just want a big bed just to I'd be cuddled and feel safe. And then Amir butts in and goes, tall, short, I don't give a fuck as long as he fills me with that boiling hot sperm.
Well, I thought it was a very like British thing. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just the way you say it. It just sounds like a very
Yeah.
like Geordie thing.
It's close to spunk, which is a very British thing.
Yeah. Spunk.
Fuck.
The cock destroyers.
Spank.
They're
Yeah.
icons. Icons of British culture, to be fair.
Absolutely.
I like them. I think they're funny.
Yeah, they
I
seem
think
like
they're
decent
very
people.
funny.
During the election, they voted Labour, so it's
Yeah,
all right.
they seem like very decent people, very like open people. Just having a bit of fun, aren't they? Just being very sexually expressive and having a bit of fun.
Just
And we
bands.
love to see it. And
Yeah.
if they want to contact me, you can DM me on Twitter
Jesus Christ, man.
for an
Anyway,
interview.
so
Get them on the pod.
today Today we have a not as much to talk about as usual weeks, but it is still the build up to Christmas. Everyone has their decorations up by now, I imagine, unless you're
Oh,
those really weird, strict people who only put it up on the week of where Christmas Day is, and you only buy a real tree, so it's all that hassle for not a lot of payback. So
we're in festive mode.
you do either. So
It's
the
like
Game
sicko
Awards.
mode.
How dare you interrupt me?
That's why I didn't say sicko mode. Let me have my sicko mode joke, and then we
We
can move on.
never,
All right.
we never engage sicko mode on this goddamn podcast.
Also, before we move off the topic of festivities, Happy Hanukkah
Ah, yes,
to any
absolutely.
of our folks out there that might be celebrating.
hmm And so, Game Awards, the
Yeah,
results. I don't have the results up because, quite
I
frankly,
I
looking at them,
have I have a hold up. I have somebody made a sweet tweet longer with like all the fucking uh there you go. I've got it. I'm going to send it to you. All the results and all the trailers in. Bless
yeah,
this person. Bless Tallyverse on Twitter. Thank you very much for
shouts
doing my
out.
work for me.
Beautiful.
So I don't have to do anything myself. There you go. So overall, I don't think there was any major surprises. I think it went pretty much the way that we would expect it to go.
As much as that is the case, this list of award winners concerns me a lot.
I mean, I think okay. So here's the thing. Here's obviously the elephant in the room is The Last of Us 2, right? Which
Yeah,
won a lot of stuff. It definitely deserves some of the awards that it got. I think
yeah,
it's a good game. I absolutely think that in terms of audio design, in terms of accessibility, 100%. You know,
yeah,
best performance as well. I absolutely agree with that. I think the acting in that game was fantastic.
yeah.
Um, the place I have concerns is one game of the year because I
Definitely was
really
not
don't
game
think
of
it
the year.
takes that. I don't think it takes that slot. And two, game direction. Because as much as I like the game and the development of the game was plagued by crunch, like heavy crunch.
Yeah,
And I don't think we should be giving awards for game direction to places that are requiring crunch.
absolutely.
Um, I really don't think that that's a good thing to do. I think that sets a bad precedent. Yeah, I don't like it. Don't like it one bit.
Yeah. I think the greater evil here is that it goes towards normalizing crunch. Is be like, yeah, crunch sucks, but if you do it, look at all the awards you could possibly get.
Exactly.
And it's
That's
sort of
my
like
issue.
the Game Awards, as nice as it is for people to win things, it really doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things. My game of the year is still Hades. Fuck these guys. Not fuck all of them. I'm happy Laura Bailey won for performance because Laura Bailey is a very talented individual, and I'm biased because I really like Critical Role. But I think the games should be like cakes. You should take the amount of time and care to make something fun, delicious for everyone, and if it's even a little bit crunchy, you've done something wrong.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Like take the time that you need. You know what I mean? Like just take the time that you need and like give people time.
Yeah,
There's no need to pressure this like crunch. I know like it's probably shareholders that the responsibility for it all. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it probably all comes from shareholders and stuff.
hmm
But it's just it's yeah, one of those. I don't think we should be rewarding that with big awards. I think it sets a bad precedent, as you say. It makes it seem like yeah, maybe we suffered, but it was worth it.
yeah.
Which shouldn't be the case. Absolutely shouldn't be the case. In terms of other stuff, though, best score in music, FF7 remake. Happy with that.
Yeah, God, the
Um,
final few sequences, no spoilers, but like the battles towards the end, just the music and everything. Holy shit! Which
yeah, that game just bangs. So I'm
yeah,
glad it won like a couple of awards, right? Yeah, it won best role playing game as well.
yeah,
Hell yeah, good
yeah.
shit.
That there wasn't many other RPGs that really grabbed me. Um, and sort of, I think what added to the hype for me for Final Fantasy was the Super Smash Brothers announcement. Because
That
of
was great,
course
by the way.
Sephiroth is coming to Super Smash Brothers, and
So
just the trailer was just as soon as like the first note of One Winged Angel started playing, just the look on Cloud's face, he's like, "Oh God, not this guy again."
in it, so like I feel like when it comes to Smash, right? I don't even play Smash
Me
anymore.
neither.
I've
No.
not played Smash in ages, but I still like their reveals. I think like the excitement around their reveals, just to see who it is always good.
Mhm.
It's always like exciting to see, oh, who is it going to be? You know, I enjoy that. Um, and I really do think that the reveal of that was so good because Sephiroth's a cool character. He's an
Yeah,
iconic character as well. And fucking getting Smash music is fantastic, by the way.
yeah,
It's so good. And getting a Smash remix of One Winged Angel, good shit. Love it.
absolutely. I still really love their version of Snake. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean
real
they
good.
do the Castlevania songs they've done and stuff.
Mhm.
Like Nintendo get a lot wrong on the corporate side of stuff, right?
Yeah,
But when it comes to the actual products themselves, fantastic. They
yeah,
make banging games and they know what they're doing. Like they know their audience and they
mhm.
really put some effort into it. Like the music is
Yeah,
always good. Nintendo game music always slaps.
yeah.
Big tunes. Even Arms, which is a terrible game by the way, has
Never played it.
bangers, has tunes. I also love the bit where it looks like Sephiroth murdered Mario.
Yeah,
It's
really
like
good.
he's just fucking killed him. Oh, mamma mia! He's just
Have you seen someone on Twitter? Because he's not impaled on the sword, but it's like under one of the shoulder harnesses on his overalls. He's like being held up by Sephiroth's Master Moon Blade. I think that's what it's called, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I think it's Masamune.
Yeah, it's the same. Just a bit of trivia here for you. It's the
Bit
same
trips.
sword in
Ooh,
Marvel Comics that can cut through Wolverine's skeleton. Um,
ooh.
so yeah, and somebody did a comic because it when Cloud comes in to save Mario, the next shot is Mario like flying away. So obviously he was still on the end of the sword when they clashed swords. Somebody's drawn like what happened from Mario's perspective. It's quite funny. So he just got
I love
flung
shit like
in
that.
the middle of a fight. But in terms of other awards, ones that I was quite happy to see win was Final Fantasy. Obviously, I was worried that it would get pushed out by like the bigger games because it's a remake after everything. Really, glad Ghost of Tsushima got one. I never played it, but it seemed like a lot of people really enjoyed the game, and I think they
It
would have
was a
been
good
good.
game. It was
Um,
a good game.
yeah, best ongoing game, No Man's Sky. We played quite a lot of that
Yeah,
in the past few weeks.
I saw people booing about that, but I really do think that it's well deserved. Like
Yeah,
they put so much effort into making that game good.
yeah,
Like, and I know, like, I loved Sean from the team, like on the like video link, just chugging a beer and
yeah,
just being like, "Oh shit, it's actually me." What? Like, like I love that.
yeah.
And they put so much work into that game over time that I think that absolutely deserves it.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm happy for the awards that Hades got: best action game, best indie game.
Oh yeah, let's go
Um,
Hades.
I would have liked it to win Art Direction because I just love the visuals of it. But then again, Ghost of Tsushima was very stylized as well. Looked nice. I loved the idea of them not having like waypoint objective things, and like the grass and the wind were like showing you where to go and stuff. I think that should have got them a lot more towards best game direction over Last of Us, because like in the stuff with like the little foxes and stuff taking you to places. I thought that was
And
just a
yeah,
nice
and
way to approach an open world, something like different for a
it
change.
was like that's what I liked the most about Ghost of Tsushima. I felt like it's an open world where I wasn't too bothered about like teleporting everywhere.
Yeah.
I kind of just it was very immersive. Like even the waypoint system
Mhm.
was like wind guiding you. So it was
Yeah.
like a gust of wind that showed you the direction to go in. It wasn't like an actual path that appeared on the screen. It was just a gust of wind,
Yeah.
which I think is nice. I think it's very immersive. You know.
Yep. I'm happy to see Mortal Kombat won an award because that's out of all like the modern fighting games until they release a normal vs. Capcom, other than Dragon Ball Z Fighters, it's usually the one I'd go to if you ask me like what game I wanted to play. It'd probably be Mortal Kombat. Um, and yeah, I think that's it. I don't really put any stock in all of the esports awards. I don't watch competitive esports because none of the games I like have them.
Yeah, I mean the esports ones I didn't really care about that much.
Yeah.
The only one that I will comment on is absolutely well deserved best esports host for Shocks. She posted a video or she was streaming or something like that, and someone posted a video of her yesterday, and
Mhm.
it's such a good video. Like people have been questioning her and giving her shit for the longest time because she's a woman.
Yeah.
And like she was saying in the video, like I've worked on this for 10 years. Like I've been doing this shit for 10 years. Like I know what I'm doing. I know I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Like you can't just tell me like, oh, you only get these opportunities because you're a woman. Like,
Mhm.
no, I work my ass off.
Yeah.
And hell yeah, I'm very glad that she got that award. Very well deserved.
Mhm.
Um, Other awards that I was kind of like, what was it? There was one that I was a little bit about. It was probably just one of the Last of Us ones.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was the community one.
See, I'm
Um,
gonna have to stop you there because my new company won that award. So
I'm allowed to give my opinion on it though.
yeah,
As much as the social media stuff went really well, I don't really see it as a game with like a community that requires support in the way that I imagined that award would be like given.
yeah,
Um, like I don't even play Destiny, but I know that Destiny and the Destiny team put a lot of work into keeping people happy and a
mhm,
lot of work into changing things and consistently doing things. Um, which not to say that the Fall Guys team don't,
yeah,
but I really do think it was more given based on the social media efforts than the actual community support efforts. You don't have to say anything.
yeah.
I know you can't. So, but yeah, I feel like the Destiny team are a little bit robbed there.
Okay,
Um, but overall, yeah. Apart from Game of the Year
yeah,
and Best Game Direction, I think everything else was pretty good. I was very happy to see the Among Us team win.
yes,
Um,
absolutely.
they are absolutely adorable human beings. Like they're just so happy. It's a tiny team as well.
It is, yeah.
It's a team of four.
To be fair, Supergiant are pretty small.
Yeah, true, true. But like it was so cool to see just because it was the Among Us team at Innislav was three people originally, right? And then they
Yeah,
just brought Victoria on I think 2 or 3 weeks ago.
yeah,
And it was I love that little touch by the way of having her like on the phone. Just like on the video call. She even got like properly dressed up and stuff to be on the video call.
yeah.
That's some dedication. I respect it big time.
Great
I
stuff.
really respect that. But it's nice to see teams like that win stuff because I know how much it means to them. Um, yeah, triple A, big AAA devs, they always win stuff. It's nice to see small games get there. And people were saying like, "Oh, it wasn't released this year. Why is it up for an award?" Yeah, bitch, it had a massive impact this year. It
Yeah,
had a
No Man's
huge
Sky
impact
wasn't
this year.
released this year. Fortnite wasn't released this year. All of them got
Exactly. Like
nominated for things.
it obviously I think apart from the Game of the Year award, I think everything else is like just up for grabs, right? In
Yeah,
terms of if people are playing it or not.
Mhm.
And obviously, like you can't just say, "Oh well, nullify it. It wasn't popular 2 years ago." It's huge now. It's
Yeah,
enormous now. Yeah, shout outs to the Among Us team and shout outs to the game itself. Good shit. Good shit. I like
absolutely.
the new update, by the way, they're doing to that game.
I didn't see the update information. What's
So
that?
they're introducing a new map,
Okay.
and I think there's a new feature with it as well, where you can, when you're done with the meeting,
Yeah.
you can choose where to spawn.
Ah, okay. That's
So it
interesting.
splits people up. So instead of everybody being at the table, it splits people up, which I think is
Yeah.
very good.
I think it is as well. The one annoying thing is when you get two people who like stick together,
The entire time,
and I
right?
get they
Whenever
try
you
to avoid
play,
that with jobs, but like it doesn't always work.
whenever you play Among Us with couples, it's the fucking worst.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't kill one of them, they are together until the end of time. And
Yeah.
it's kind of cute in a way, but I'm like, please, please, this is a video game. Stop. Like, stop holding hands. Like, you don't need
You're
to.
ruining the intrigue. Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, well, I was with my girlfriend the entire time. Like, yeah, of course you were. We know you were. Every round. Every fucking round. Mm.
Speaking of
But yeah.
video games, though, we'd be
Gaming.
remiss if we didn't mention that Cyberpunk 2077 is now out, and oh boy, what is
Yes.
going on?
Yeah. So there's a lot to unpack here. Um I want to start off by saying, if people were really excited about it and are enjoying it, then good.
Yeah,
Like, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you enjoy it. I'm glad it's everything you wanted it to be. Um, the most intriguing stuff comes from within the company itself.
yeah.
There's a couple of articles posted over the last 2 days about the very, very weird bonus practices that they have.
I
Um,
didn't hear anything about that. What's going on with the
so I
bonus?
don't know if you saw this stuff, but so originally the team were only going to get their bonuses in full if the game hit 90% on Metacritic,
Okay,
which is a joke in general.
yeah,
That's such a weird way to reward people.
yeah,
Um, and then also there was this thing to do with, like, so what they do is, apparently if someone performs really well, they get given a token. Um, yeah, they get given a token with the company's Redbird logo on it,
okay.
and
That's it.
then you transfer those bonuses if the game meets certain criteria. So you transfer your coins into bonuses. So
Right.
team leaders give out tokens to members they felt deserved honors,
Yeah,
and then they cash those in for bonuses if they reach certain things. That's fucked. That's
that is
so weird.
really weird.
That's such a weird thing. Like, what? Like, that's so weird. Like, what do you? Oh, I got a token. Oh, I didn't get one. Oh, no bonus for you then.
And then
Like,
even
I'm
if
gonna.
you did get a token, like if you don't meet a certain review threshold, everyone's fucked.
It's ridiculous. Just reward your staff, especially, like, I think the thing is, right, and this is a problem that the industry has. Valve have the same thing. There's this rampant fanboyism that turns into like a cult, where it's
Yeah,
like they can do no wrong. CD Projekt Red and Valve are the two companies that have this issue, where people will see stuff like this, and a lot of us will say, "Hey, that's fucked up,"
yeah,
but a lot of the fanboys will be like, "It's fine. They got the bonuses anyway. They're getting the bonuses anyway. It's fine. No problem
yeah,
with that. It's fine." Just because, like, they don't use DRM on GOG or something like that,
yeah,
it's like, come on, think critically. And this runs to the game itself. So the game is, I've played a bit of it. It's all right.
yeah.
I feel like visually it's very impressive. Story's quite good.
The only
It's
consistent positive I've heard, because obviously people have had bugs and stuff, so stuff like gameplay and stuff's up for debate. But the only thing I've heard consistently good about is the soundtrack.
Yeah, the soundtrack's good, the visuals are good, and the quests, like the quest dialogue and stuff like that, is pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Um, but in terms of what I think was originally promised, or at least suggested to, it misses the mark completely.
yeah,
It really misses the mark. Like, it's not great. It's really not great. It's like, I feel like gunplay and all that stuff is just very mediocre.
yeah.
Um,
It didn't
And for
look that great, like, when they were showing the first, like, gameplay trailers.
mm,
Like, it's no secret, like, I wasn't hyped for the game, didn't dislike the idea of the game, but I was really attached to The Witcher, and I was like, "Oh, I'd want another game in this universe." And they're like, "Oh, do the first-person shooty thing." I'm like, "Oh." So, I didn't like it from the off, but then when I actually saw it in practice, I was like, it seems I was talking to my friend Ryan about it, and it seems to be like the shooting is fine, but it ignores a lot of the things that have just uniformly like agreed to have been fixed in first person shooters like over the years by Call of Duty, Titanfall, stuff like that, where they've just got, yes, it's sort of a meme that they all play the same, but is this a reason there's like quality of life changes that should be in a shooter, and like things are awkward and you need to revisit the fucking claw if
yeah,
you're using a
like
gamepad.
so there's something that I watch a Twitch streamer called Maximilian who does a lot of fighting game stuff.
Yeah,
And what he said rings very, very true to me. He said it feels like the stuff that a lot of us would consider to be the core of a game like this, which is the shooting, the combat, the
yeah,
movement, all that stuff, has been moved to the side
yeah,
in favor of visuals,
hmm,
and things looking nice. And it does look nice. It
yeah,
really does look nice. And there's some very impressive stuff with how the characters interact and the fact that, during cutscenes and stuff, you can look around, you can look at mirrors and stuff, you can see your character's mouth moving. It's impressive in that sense.
yeah,
Um, but I really think that the biggest thing that I think is very like just fluffed about it is I had the impression that there was this big city with so much to do in it,
yeah,
and there really is not much to do. Like,
hmm,
if you're not doing the main story and you're not, or if you're not doing a quest, there's nothing to do. Like,
yeah,
it's you walk around and look at stuff. Like, I was under the impression there'd be like, bars you could go to and do stuff in, like different places you could go to, different little
yeah,
activities and stuff. But apart from like go to this place and kill all these guys, outside the main story, there's not much.
yeah.
It feels like a lot of shiny with not much substance.
Yeah, I heard the just the programming of the AI is pretty bad as well. Somebody in one of the discords I'm in, I think it would have been Ryan again. He linked this. Somebody found on Reddit that like the AI is just programmed really lazily on predefined paths. So like police don't track you like they do on like a GTA. They just appear behind you type thing. Um,
Yeah, I feel like I really do feel like it's like just half baked.
yeah,
Like I feel like they just sort of cut a lot of corners because they really wanted to just get it out. Um, there's a lot of stuff where I think this is basically GTA but not as good
yeah,
in some of the mechanics. Like driving's not very good, as you say. The police stuff. I've had like a wanted level like 2 or 3 times,
yeah,
and I nobody's turned up. Like I don't know what's going on. No, but no, it's not felt like a threat ever.
yeah,
There have been times where obviously, like bugs are a different issue, but there are a lot of them. There's no way in my mind, right? Apart from um, like if it was an advertisement or whatever, that this game reviews 9 out of 10. I'm
yeah,
really sorry. I'm sorry, but even if the game itself was an absolute banger, the amount of bugs have been, and the fact that the PS4 and Xbox One version are basically unplayable, like they're terrible.
yeah.
This is not a 9 out of 10 in any world. You can't say that. And a lot of these reviews do that. They're like, yeah, this game's amazing, 9 out of 10, but also here's 10 minutes of all the bugs in the game. Like, then it's not a 9 out of 10. Then how are you saying that? How are you saying this is so good if it's this broken? Like
I
it
think
is
it's
broken.
sort of it's just this horrible sort of where the industry is at the moment. Is if a game doesn't score 8 or 9, it's not worth anyone's time. Like the whole hubbub with that one person who scored it a 7, they were like, "Yeah, it's fine." Didn't really like the whole approach to like the trans characters or trans representation in the game, and it's
Oh, and
full
the
of
gamers
bugs.
went nuts
In
on
my
that
book,
shit.
a 7 out of 10 is still good. If
It-
somebody, if I asked you, "Oh, James, what would you rate? Like, I don't know, some game that you're playing," and you're like, "Yeah, it's all right, 7 out of 10." I'm like, "Yeah." In the back of my mind, I'd be like, "Yeah, I'd probably still give that a go." If a
it
game is like a
100
4 out of 10, I'd worry. But like,
it 100% is. It 100% is. Like it's there's a Mega 64 video about it. which is gold.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
The one where it's like 8.5. Wait till Twitter hears about this. Like it's it's ridiculous that it's this cult mentality again. Like they had in their mind, and this is the weirdest thing for me as well. People had in their mind without even touching this game that it was the best game on the planet,
Yeah,
and they got themselves like so wrapped up in the fact that they wanted it to be good that as soon as someone said it's pretty good but it's not amazing, it's not like the best thing in the world, they went
yeah.
ballistic.
It's the
Like, you
sort
don't
of
know what you're talking about. Like, what?
it's the whole pre-order, pre-purchase culture shite because like you've already paid your money for this game that isn't even out yet. That's been delayed a couple of times, but you've put down money, and the price of games for a lot of people
Yeah,
is a
it's a
lot of
lot.
money.
It's a
So they're
lot of
like,
money.
I
It's
have to justify
it's
this.
buyer's remorse. It's 100%
Yeah,
buyer's remorse. It's like people have this idea in their head that this is going to be the saving grace of the year. It's going to
yeah,
be the best game I've ever played. I've been waiting for it. And part of this problem is that the industry at this point announces things so far in advance.
yeah,
The hype cycle never stops. It's just constant. It's a constant
absolutely.
cycle. And like, I'm not saying like, even though I'm trashing the game a bit here, I'm not saying it's bad. Like, I really do think it's probably like a 7. I think a 7 is
Yeah,
a reasonable score for it. Like, the story and stuff is pretty good. Like, I've been enjoying the story.
yeah,
Like, I think that stuff's fun. Like, I've been enjoying that. Um, but for what they sold it as, it's just not. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. Like, the combat's not great, and the
yeah.
stuff, like the other stuff, the outside of main story stuff, is just practically non-existent. It's just there. Like, I can walk around and I can see a bunch of people doing something, and I can't interact with them in any way.
But
Like,
James, Keanu Reeves is in it. That means it's game of the millennium.
yeah, this is the thing as well. Like, I feel like if they had just not spent the money on Keanu, they probably could have just like,
It's
I
not, I
don't
don't
know.
even think it was the money on Keanu because I'm pretty sure with his enthusiasm for it and just the nature of his collaboration with people these days, he probably didn't ask for that much money. It's the amount of fucking advertising they did. Yesterday we got something off Amazon Prime now.
Mm.
I know, boo Amazon, but like we needed something quite quickly for Christmas. And like just the packaging, everything is just oh yeah, Cyberpunk. So like, why did you spend this money to make bags for other businesses? Have your thing on the front when you already had so much hype that the game was going to sell itself.
It went incredibly overboard on hyping things up and trying to get things like promoted and out there.
And
Like, it's
to a
yeah,
degree, I understand. CD Projekt Red are very much here's our one game for like this however many years. This is our one sort of like offering
yeah,
to keep us going till the next one. But like people were interested. If they wanted to, they should have like sort of leaned into that image that people had of them of like a humble Polish game studio just trying their best instead of going, no, we've got this. All the other companies suck. We won't charge you for like microtransactions and stuff. And then they just became who they were meant to be like shitting on when they could have just
yeah.
been
Oh,
like kept their
100%.
heads down and just pumped out a game.
Like Cyberpunk is the least Cyberpunk game.
Yeah,
Like, like, even in terms of like the game itself, like inside the game, not just outside the game and all the corporate nonsense, which is very non-Cyberpunk.
yeah,
um Inside the game itself, there's like, I don't know, I feel like it was sold as, or almost had this image of, the classic cyberpunk stuff, like fight capitalism, like,
yeah,
you are a cyberpunk, you're doing things your own way,
yeah,
you're fighting the corporations and stuff. But then in the game itself, it's very like just lacking on that front. Like, I feel like it just doesn't really send a message about anything like that at all.
yeah,
um I don't know, like, I'm glad people are enjoying it,
yeah. Of course,
that
yeah,
really wanted to enjoy it. And I've seen a lot of people say that, they didn't want great gunplay and stuff. They just wanted the story part, which is grand. If
yeah.
that's like, your thing, that's your thing. Go for it.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know. I feel as if a lot could have been solved, and it probably would have been a better experience and a better even discourse overall if you just waited. Just spend some more time. Just don't crunch. Just spend more time polishing it off, making it a bit better. And my hottest take on this, right,
Yeah.
which is he ready for a spicy one right here.
I love spicy food. Hit me with it.
Spicy take here. Cyberpunk is going to be this generation's Skyrim, and what I mean by that is that it's going to be a very middle of the road, not bad, not incredible game that
Yeah,
people say is the best game ever for the next 10 years.
absolutely.
And that's exactly how I feel about Skyrim. Like I feel like people say like Skyrim's the best game. It's so good. It's all right.
No, the
It's
best
not that
way I've
good.
heard Skyrim described was last night. I was talking to Laura about Cyberpunk and like the hype and stuff, and and then we got on to talking about like fantasy games, like because she prefers like fantasy settings and stuff, and and we're just talking about the Elder Scrolls games, and the way she described it was like the only fantasy game, like new fantasy game that came out at the time. So I just played it because that I didn't. She didn't get grabbed by it. It wasn't particularly great. I just think it was like the only thing around that time that was like fantasy and that in depth RPG, and like it's been done better a billion times since. So like, but
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing. I think it's I don't know. I think it's like the kind of thing where everybody's been so excited for it and stuff like that, and there's not many big releases like for the rest of the year. So people are gonna grab it
yeah,
and probably just play it for a while. Like I'm playing it and I am enjoying some of it. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna play it all the way through because I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I
yeah,
had I honestly had the same issue with GTA 4 back in the day.
yeah.
Like I
No, I
felt
can
like I
see that.
reached.
I don't think I would have completed that if it wasn't like because when growing up, me and my brother didn't have like PlayStation 2, so we missed like GTA 3, GTA Vice City. So when GTA San Andreas came to Xbox, we got really excited, and because open world games was still fun back then.
Mm,
So like, and what we do is we'd like pass it back and forth. Like I do a few missions, D
yeah,
do a
that's
few
cool.
missions. So I don't think I would have gotten through four on my own because it was a bit like drab. But it's just the fact
Yeah,
that me and my brother spurring each other on to get through it. That's how we got through it.
that was the thing for me. It was like I really like San Andreas a lot. I like Vice City a lot. Actually, GTA 5 is a belter. It's a return to form.
Yeah,
4, I felt like the story was pretty good, but it was very much the missions were super repetitive, and I just felt like I was doing the same thing.
yeah,
And I'm kind of reaching the same point with this, whereas like I kind of want to know what's going to happen, and I'm enjoying the dialogue, but to get to the next bit of dialogue, do I really want to? Like, am I really
yeah.
that bothered that I want to play more to get to that bit? Like, I could really just pass on any more combat sections and just give me the story at this point.
That's exactly
Um,
why fucking Hades was my game of the year. I was desperate to find out more of the story, figure out, try and help Zagreus find his mom and all that stuff. But like the gameplay loop was so satisfying, I didn't mind doing a fucking 33-minute run through the entire game just to get to like a few sentences at the end. Like it was
yeah,
amazing the
like
balance in that game.
we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, the bugs also did affect my experience quite a bit,
Yeah,
soured it quite a bit. Because I've had a lot of times where I've had to reload the game to previous saves and stuff because things have just locked up. Like the objective just doesn't appear, or the character I'm meant to talk to won't talk to me. Um, there's been a lot of stuff like that. Like I've had a lot of those issues
yeah,
with my game where like it says go to the elevator. I go to the elevator and the character that I'm meant to talk to is just not there. Or they stood there and I'm just hammering the button and they're not talking to me. So there's been a lot of stuff like that that soured my experience a bit. As I say though, I think this is no slight on the actual like developers themselves because I think they did a bang up job.
yeah,
It's gorgeous. It's very pretty. And shout outs to the folks that I know that work there, like on the marketing side and community side. They've done a great job.
yeah,
I think it's just it's the upper area. It's the upper echelon of the company that's the problem. Um, yeah, and then also gamers themselves. Like games are allowed to be just good or all right. They don't
yeah,
have to be the best games on the planet. Like you can just I like a lot of stuff. I play a lot of games and I like a lot of stuff that most people probably think is mid or a lot of people probably
Yeah,
think is like,
absolutely.
it's okay. I don't care. Like I like it, and that's the whole point in entertainment, right?
Best
There's like,
example of that is Destiny. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I can't be asked for looter shooters and stuff. And when you play it, it's sort of like, yeah, it's not like anything spectacular, but it's just such a nice game to like just turn your brain off, watch a film on one screen, and just play it on the other. Like there's room for games that are just okay. I don't know why
yeah, and that's
everyone.
completely fine. Like I understand the want, um, and I think a lot of people's minds are now changing now they've actually played it.
Yeah,
Um, but I understand the want for something to be great. Like I
yeah,
get like that too, you know. Like I, if I'm anticipating a game or a movie or something, I want it to be really good. I really do want it to be super good.
yeah.
Um, and if it's not, then you know it's disappointing. But don't attack people for it. Like don't go ballistic and yell at people, or just adamantly say no. It is good. It is good. Like come on. Like
Yeah, I think it's sort of that there's just an underlying want for some game to come along and just revolutionize everything and finally
there's
have people take
yeah
video games seriously and call it art. Well, I think the honestly the only avenue that that's going to happen is to legitimize video games and stop the weird taboo of like, oh, you can't make a career out of this. It's esports. I think everyone who's working in esports to try and get these things, well, I say try, they're succeeding to get these things in arenas. Fucking Stephen A. Smith was at
yeah
the Game Awards.
acknowledging it
Like,
exactly.
but then again, like it's this thing where you need to legitimize it like in the realm that it exists. Games, yes, you can have a narrative in them, and yes, there are some games with very powerful narratives. But at the end of the day, games are to be played, and the competitive element is what's going to resonate with more people than a good story. Especially when you look at stuff like The Last of Us Part Two. Some people love that story. Some people thought it was weird. Some people thought it sucked. It's just like, do you what's easier to appeal to everyone and get everyone to be on board with? People winning and losing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that. The the thing that the issue is like the issue lies with I think partially the actual like obviously like the higher ups at companies like this that either force the crunch or you know force staff to do certain stuff, but also in terms of like marketing as well. A lot of these products are marketed in a certain way that like there was an article about how like edgy Cyberpunk's marketing was,
Yeah,
where it tried to appeal to a certain audience. It tried to appeal to a certain edgier side of the internet,
yeah,
um, and it definitely succeeded in doing that. And these are the kind of people that also like they don't let you have an opinion that's counter. Like they don't let you have an
absolutely.
opinion that's like contradictive. Like there's people saying, "Oh, you know, very thankful for journalists like this guy over these ones," and I'm like, well, the thing is, you're saying that because that one confirmed your bias. Like you're just
Yeah,
saying, I like this journalist because they said it's great and I think it's great. Like, but you know, you don't need to like or dislike journalists. Like just in that way with this kind of stuff. Like if you think somebody's article sucks, whatever it sucks, just ignore it, turn it off, go read
yeah,
something else. Like it's the weird sort of fascination with proving a point that people have. Like they really want to prove their point and say, "No, I am right. You're terrible. Your article's terrible." Like just leave it out. Go and enjoy it. If you enjoy it, go and enjoy it.
yeah.
Um,
It's really weird. Like, if I think back to every game I've ever really loved, I've never, after I've completed it, went like, "Well, I've done that. Really liked it. Let's see what everyone else thought." I'm just like, "Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed it." If anyone asked me, "Yeah, it's a good game. I enjoyed it."
well, I like the discourse around games. Like I like to chat
Yeah,
about games. I like to chat about um, what's going on in games and stuff like that, and theorize, theory craft, all this kind of stuff. Um, But I also think that people just take it too far and they make it like part of their identity. That's where the issue is that
yeah,
people this resonates beyond video games. This is with like I think we've probably even discussed this before
yeah.
in
We have.
terms of like
Yeah,
Marvel movies and stuff. People take this stuff as their identity. Um and that's not the way to be. Like you can enjoy things, and if someone says, I don't enjoy said thing, it's not a personal attack on you. Like, it's not any slight on you. Like, just say, fair enough, and go and enjoy your thing. Like, that's the thing. That's the whole, that's what drives me mental is that
Yeah.
People, when someone says, "Hey, this product is okay, it's just all right," or even "I don't like this product,"
Mhm.
there are an army of people waiting to say, "No, you're wrong." Like, just leave it out.
Yeah.
Like, leave it out. Like, just it's not. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say anything. You can just say, "Hey, good for you. I like it." And
Yeah.
that's completely fine. I feel like the whole discourse around this stuff, like the worst one was that um a journalist put out a thing and she was saying, "Hey, game's pretty good, but it also has this bit in that is triggering epileptic fits.
Yeah.
Like, so just be careful for this." And people sent her stuff that would trigger epileptic fits. People
Yeah.
started trying to send her videos and stuff and like harass her about it. It's like, just she's saying that it's good, but you need to like they need to sort this out. And it's so weird. Like people are just like eager, chomping at the bit to defend a multi-million like dollar corporation over anything.
Yep.
Like, just say, yeah, true. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. Like, why does it? No, it has to. Just because it doesn't cater to you. Like, oh my god, I'm losing my mind over people's comments about this stuff more than I am the actual
Yeah.
game itself. Like, people just make me go insane with this stuff. I saw someone post the other day saying something like, obviously not someone I follow.
Yeah.
Um, just like I think it popped up on like someone had like commented on it. Whether there was someone saying like, "Oh, all these people just looking for something to get offended by." Like, are you serious? Like, you're allowed to make social commentary on things. That's the whole point.
No,
Like,
bro,
but
epilepsy is a social construct, dude. Just
like
just don't be epileptic, bro.
that's the crazy
Jesus
thing is like
Christ.
you're allowed to comment on things that you don't necessarily think are good.
Yeah.
Like when what do you call it? When that journalist she said, "Hey, this isn't a very good representation of trans people in this
Yeah.
game." And people went ballistic and were like, "Oh, looking to get offended by anything," or like, "This isn't your place to talk." Like, that's her place to talk. She's saying, "I'm transgender. I didn't think this was a very good representation."
Yeah.
Fine, completely fine. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you disagree with her, stop going nuts about it and stop like
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. Like,
I think
you,
that's one
oh,
thing that put like to really put the nail in the coffin for me of like trying the game or at least trying it at full price or whatever was just like the whole stuff that came out about like just identification and just like that notorious advert from the game where it just made me uncomfortable. I'm not trans, but like I can spot from a mile away when something just ain't right. And it was one of those typical things where like, oh yeah, we want to represent trans people, but the only way we can think to represent them is in a sexual
is
context.
yeah, fetishization.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, they have value because I could, objectify them. Like, no, well, like, and there would have been better ways to show, like, because I get in the cyberpunk future, you can change your body, you can look however you want, you can have rockets coming out your shoulders and shit like that. But like the easiest way to show like a change in gender would have just been like maybe put an advert up with like people of like various different appearances with just a slogan like, "Oh yeah, be whoever you want," or some shit like,
well,
"Come into this
the
clinic and we'll make you look like whatever."
like so my opinion on it overall is that I feel like it was an afterthought when they did the because you can your character can be transgender basically, right?
Yeah,
But you can't select pronouns.
yeah, like
So
voices tied to pronouns, which is a
yeah,
whole
which
other
is really
fucking
it's just
shit.
bad. So it's clear that they didn't consult anybody
Yeah,
for any help with that stuff. It was an afterthought. Do I think it was deliberately transphobic? No. I feel like it was just ignorance. I feel like they thought they were doing something good, and just dropped the ball on it
yeah.
in that regard.
But the thing is,
Obviously,
it's
the
like
marketing material stuff, I think that was just gross.
it
But
was weird to me because they handled sort of like gender identification much better in a throwaway quest on fucking Witcher 3 with the person that owns the clothing store that you have to go to get a mask when you go to that masquerade ball. And like you go
oh
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
time and they need you to get something, so you go away, come back, and they're dressed more feminine. And Geralt's like, "Oh, I'm here to see the other person." They're like, "Oh no, that's me." And he's like, okay, right, do you have my mask ready? I was like, yeah, of course. If you need any other tailoring stuff, come back. And that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
and
yeah.
the end of it. It's like, I don't think, I don't want to speak for trans people, but like, I think it would just be nice to have just these characters exist in the world with like all different types of facets, all different types, like just the way white people, like white dudes in games. Like I know when I open up a game, I said this in the chat when we were talking about it in one of my Discord chats with all my friends who are of the same mindset of me, thankfully. And it's just sort of like when I open a game, I know there's going to be like at least five different white dudes, but all of them will have different wants, different needs, different goals. Some of them will be shitheads, some will be nice people. And at the end of the day, that's really just what everyone wants. Like if you're a black person, you want to see reflections of all the different people you would have
It's
encountered in
about
your childhood.
representation, and like representation
Yeah,
is important. And I just want to say as well, like um, even though I'm giving my opinion on this, it's not really my place to say it. You know
really.
what I mean? Like, if a transgender person feels differently about it and feels like it actually is
Yeah,
transphobic, it's not my place to say no, it's not.
yeah,
And I never would. Like, I don't think that's right to do. I think that's not our place to intervene.
yeah,
I just feel from my personal perspective that it seems more like ignorance than actual like deliberate um,
yeah,
attacks. You know, but the problem is it could have easily been solved. Like it could have really
yeah,
easily been
absolutely.
solved. They could have consulted people. They could have done this. And I feel like the game as a whole is just this weird. It's a weird cultural talking point that they promised a lot and almost offered a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Even in this regard, you know, they're like, hey, you can make your character like transgender if you want to,
Mhm.
and then they just drop the ball. It's the same with the gameplay stuff I was talking about before. Like, you
Yeah.
know, hey, you can look at all these cool gangs that you can join up with and stuff. I was under the impression that you could join up with like the gang of your choice and
Yeah.
stuff, and like you know do side things with them and stuff like that. It doesn't seem that way. I feel like they promised a lot and tried to offer a lot, and then probably just had to say we can't deliver. Um,
Mhm.
there's not enough time. Like we can't deliver. Just yeah, like
Yeah,
put
or
it
a
out
lot of
there.
games you see these days, like if they're not sure how to approach anything like self-identification, they sort of put it in the player's hands instead of having like, oh, choose a masculine or feminine voice. It's just like here's some preset voices. You can choose to be male, female, or nothing, like whatever. Um, and just put whatever voice. So if you want to identify as a woman, but you still want a masculine voice, you could do that. But like when games like Cyberpunk, they don't have like sliders for that. They don't have any sort of like true way to be properly authentically whoever you want to be. It's sort of like, yeah, you pick the more masculine sounding voice, people will refer to you in the game as he, even if you just happen to be you happen to have a deeper voice type thing. And it's sort of there's easier things they could have done. They could it would have been so simple just to not have that tied to certain things. And they did, but that does speak to your point that I just think it's ignorance.
Yeah, yeah, I really do. I really do think so. And I'm sure there are a lot of like genuine people that do work there. You know,
Yeah. Plus, when
and
you think
it's
about like the crunch, and again, obviously, I'm not excusing transphobia, because, but in this instance, I don't think it was out and out transphobia. But I think it's just a case of like these people have been sheltered for all this time, being forced to crunch for this game. I don't think any of them even it crossed their mind in their spare time to go out and look because they weren't
I
either
mean,
given the time or the resources to reach out to people to be like, is this a fair representation of who you are or like the culture that you are a part of? And plus, they live
it,
in Poland, and like Poland's had its own sort of like issues over the past year with like same-sex marriage and stuff like that. So maybe it's just a cultural thing as well, which is why, as a gaming community, we all need to come together to try and push the overall narrative about trans people, so everyone's on the level. But
yeah, it's I don't know. I just feel like this game could have been a very important um point of discussion,
yeah,
and could have been very important in like progressing the discussion.
yeah,
But it kind of just falls flat on that aspect.
mhm,
Yeah, I feel like it just falls flat in general. To be honest, I feel it's not bad, but there's so much that. it could have done that it just doesn't do. It just doesn't do. Um, and people, even people that don't enjoy the game, shouldn't be like adversely, to the people that absolutely adore the game, shouldn't be attacking people that do enjoy the game or people that worked on the game either. Like, um, your problems are with the management. Your problems are with like the
Yeah,
upper echelon of the company. Like your problems aren't with the guy that is very proud of his work on the guns or whatever. Like
yeah,
that's not who your problems with, and you shouldn't be taking out your anger about it on them either. Like it's at the end of the day, as we say, it's a product.
yeah,
You don't enjoy it, fair enough. You're valid to leave feedback about it, like we're doing. Could talk about it, yeah, but
absolutely. And
you know,
another thing I just want to say, since we are talking about trans rights being human rights, I just want to
yeah,
reiterate our
baby,
stance on
yeah, fuck
J.K.
J.K.
Rowling, and
Rowling,
it's fuck J.K. Rowling.
yeah, fuck J.K. Rowling. She didn't she do something again the other day? Didn't she do some other
Probably.
bullshit? I wish people would just stop reporting on her. Just
Yeah,
given like let her just crawl into the shadows. And it's like what's his name as well? I'm. It's even more depressing about fucking Graham Linehan.
yeah,
Like I used to love Father Ted. I thought
yeah.
Father Ted was a belter, and I'm sure it's not like all him. So I can still enjoy Father Ted.
Well, it's sort of like H.P. Lovecraft stuff in it, like
Yeah,
fuck
it's
the
like
guy.
artist a bit, like
Yeah,
that separation. But it's so weird how these people are just like saying that they're I'm not a transphobe or I'm just trying to have a discussion or whatever, but they're just so aggressively like into this transphobia, like they
yeah,
love it, they're really into it. And it's just like Graham Linehan was making fake Twitter accounts to pretend that he was a trans person
yeah,
and like try and stir up beef or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, do you not have anything better to do as like a millionaire? Like,
yeah,
can you not just go and do something like productive with your life instead of just trying to make other people's worse? Like, it's weird. Like J.K. Rowling, probably a billionaire at this point, I guess, and she's
yeah.
just like,
Absolutely.
I'm dedicating my time to ruining the lives of young trans people. Like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
what?
just it's why like rich people should just. I'm not going to say get shot into the sun because I don't want to
Fucking hell.
advocate murder on the podcast. But like, why, if you had so much money, so many resources, so much success, why would you then use your spare time to punch down? Like, what the?
Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, just like obviously, I don't get it in general because
Yeah,
there's nothing to me that makes me ever think that way or feel that way, like as they do.
yeah,
But especially at that point where you're so successful, you could just shut up and not do anything and just enjoy your life,
yeah.
like while the rest of us work and try and enjoy our lives too and try and make things better for each other.
I mean, I can
You can
understand like at the moment, like loads of people coming out of shit bags because everyone's
Everyone's
locked in their
inside
home
and
with
just
COVID.
everything online.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing to do. But it was even before this shit, and she's just been a terrible person. Like, ugh. Anyway,
It's just
let's stop. Fuck it. Let's stop talking about it.
Yeah, fuck
Um,
J.K. Rowling. Let's talk about something fun.
let's talk about. Let's segue from
Let's
Cyberpunk.
talk about Mario spaghetti.
Right. No, we can segue off Cyberpunk. So, if we found ourselves in a Cyberpunk future, James,
Mm.
I'd ideally want to be in the Shadowrun universe because they have magic along with Cyberpunk. It's really cool.
They do, and they have like elves and shit, don't they?
Yeah. Have you ever played the Shadowrun games, like the turn-based
I
ones?
I played no, I never played turn-based ones. I actually have a couple of them.
They're so fun,
I think I got them as
especially
part
the
of a
second one.
bundle. I got like Shadowrun Returns or whatever as part of like a bundle or something.
Yeah. And
Is it called
the second
Shadowrun
one's set
Returns?
in Germany. It's really good, and it's all really
But I tell you what, I did play. I
mm.
did play the third-person shooter game, the
Oh, I played
multiplayer
that.
one
Yeah,
on the Xbox. Hell yeah!
great stuff. We had a custom game that we used to play on that because the dwarves could like resurrect each other. So what we'd do is we'd put ourselves in a multiplayer lobby, like three of us, and put the rest as bots who were dwarfs, and it was just like a zombies game mode because they would just res each other and wouldn't stop coming. It was hilarious. But if you found yourself in a universe such as that, what kind
Hmm,
of body augmentations would you
everything.
have? Everything.
Everything except for like my face, and
Okay.
I don't know. I was about to say like my cock and balls, but maybe I'd even do that.
Jesus.
Just like just robotized, just full on like Cyberman. No, I would definitely like. I definitely think like arms and legs are like 100%.
Yeah.
Like maybe not hands,
Yeah.
because like I don't know. I always think this. I always think I would like solid like robot hands to do cool shit with, but
Yeah.
I also wouldn't want like the touch of my hands to be cold metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but I would definitely get like the sort of like just I would want myself to be like impervious to shit. Like if I fall over, I'm not gonna scuff my knee. I'm just like
Yeah.
gonna like I don't know. I just get scratched on my little metal plate or whatever. Fair enough. And also I want shit in my eyes so I can scan stuff and do all that cool shit because I think that stuff's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one of the cool things about like the game design of that game as well. Like when people are doing stuff or like transferring money to each other and shit, like their eyes glow and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all just they're all just doing it through their own like internal network. I'd love shit like that.
That's cool. See, for me, now, you know me in these scenarios, sometimes do fucked up shit
Cock and
because
balls.
I'm a sociopath. No, what I do is I would, well, in one instance, I would have nothing apart from a multi-tap USB port in my chest,
Like
which
a
is powered
PlayStation.
by my heart. And so just like when I'm like as from childhood, so when I'm growing up, um, in social gatherings, people will be chill with me because I'm basically a walking phone charger. So it starts conversations. It's just a nice social tool to be.
Why?
But as
Why?
but as it's powered by my heart, every time someone charges their phone, they're actually sapping my life force. So one day when too many phones are being charged, they'll accidentally kill me and they'll have to live with that.
What? Like why when you could have like I'm thinking cool shit. I'm thinking I want to be able to sprint really quick, jump over buildings, like
Yeah.
you know, fucking punch a bag of potatoes and it just smashes the whole thing. I want to be some sort of beast. And you're just like, I want to be a phone charger. I want I want people to charge the phones on me.
I guess with me, it's just like I like to just fuck with people.
You like to be helpful, yeah.
You know, I like to
Okay.
help people, but I also like to just be. I'm just a little a jokesman, a little japester, a little prank man.
Oh
So
no, I'm in the middle of this airport and there's no phone charges. Ah yeah.
no, but you're missing. You skipped over the detail of the fact that one day somebody's going to charge their phone, and I'm just going to keel over dead because it's powered by my
Yeah,
heart, and they
but
have to live
like
with the fact
in
that
a
they've
cyberpunk
murdered me.
future, no one's gonna give a shit because you were just a phone charger to them.
Well, no, I was the living person who happened to be attached to a phone charger, and it's because it's just things like that. Because one of the funniest things to me, which I don't think anyone else finds funny apart from Laura, is being really aggressive about just mundane things. So, like whenever I need to go to the toilet, I'll find the nearest person, like even if it's fucking the dog, and I'll point at them and go like, "I'm going to the toilet," and there is nothing you can do about it, and just stuff like that. I just
That
find
is
that
very funny.
hilarious. And Laura was reading a description for a mug because we realized with it being Christmas, we're drinking a lot more hot chocolate. We didn't have any of our own mugs. We just got like generic ones. So I got a nice Gremlins one, and Laura got like a glass one, and she was worried that like glass would crack, but it was like a proper tempered one for like tea and stuff like that. And she was reading the maintenance thing, and I think it missed out a few words. Or something got lost in translation because I think it was a European store, and it put like "you better maintain this with a cloth flannel."
I love stuff like that. I love
So
like
funny.
mistranslations. They always sound like either super just sort of like pleasant or incredibly aggressive. There's no middle ground. It's always like, oh, we really hope you enjoy this with joy and happiness or whatever. Or it's just completely the other side, like,
Yeah.
don't you dare not have fun with this. Like, all right.
But circling back around to stuff that I'd want, genuinely, if like just body enhancements, just to have fun with, definitely like spring-loaded legs. Jumping like
Yeah,
high
jumping
over
about.
large distances looks fun. I remember remember that really bad Hulk film with
God, yeah, but that you mean that jumping style,
when
like
he's just jumping through the
like
desert.
just
I'm like, that
bouncing
looks
around.
so much
It
fun.
does look fun.
I
That
guess
was a
it's just
terrible
like your
film.
own roller coaster, really. Like the most exciting part to me is not even the initial leap or how high you get. It's like the coming down on the arc and just like that feeling's just like really pleasant to me. I enjoy roller coasters for the same reason. Like it'd just be nice just to.
I think it'd be more fun though to have some like Doc Ock style fucking octopus shit
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
where you could just like climb about or like launch yourself off things. You know what I mean? Like you could just catapult yourself with them.
yeah,
That would be fun. But no, I definitely want like I think visuals is a really good one.
yeah.
But then again, you have that worry about like a future like this. People could just hack my visuals and make me see just like I don't know Boris Johnson's arsehole or something. Just every second of the day. And no, I don't want to see his pussy. Like no, someone just hacked into me.
Big
You know what I mean?
Boris's babussy.
Yeah. Well, like, there'd be so much more threats back then. Like, you know, you're online. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna jack into this mainframe and go check out some porn because why not? It's the future. And then you're like, oh no, I've got a virus, and the virus just fucks your body up. Like
I
you
think
go to see your family, and your arm's just like glowing pink. Like, what's happened to your arm? Nothing, nothing now. No, no, nothing. Not, not
Do
been
you
going on any
remember that
dirty website.
really old Craigslist meme with that dude who had the jack off crystals and he put in that ad
Yes.
like meet up charge and JO? Do you think like there'd be loads of those dudes in the cyberpunk future, but they're genuinely talking about charging like I don't know their body?
Yeah, I mean, like one of the whole things about this kind of like future is it's meant to be very like it's very sexual, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's very like open to just human desire, right, as a whole.
it's disgusting. As a man of the cloth, I cannot condone this.
But it's very I don't know, like I think I would just get a lot of stuff that would just make life easier.
Yeah,
Like probably like I don't know, robot lungs if that's a thing.
yeah,
So I could like, you know, not worry about my breathing. Maybe a pair of like washboard abs as well. Just like solid metal abs.
yeah.
I just turn me into a robot except my face. That's it. Just fucking pump me full of it.
I'm probably thinking too in depth about this, but like with my super piston jump legs, just with the mechanics of doing that, I imagine I'd need to use a lot of oil and stuff, but also there'll be a lot of pressure buildup from the spring-loaded nature. So I'd need like a little valve, which I would intentionally put on my heel, so I could just let out some oil just to decrease pressure and stuff. And I could just like let out oil when I'm walking down the streets. Everyone behind me just falls over and shit.
A menace to society. Every single time we do this, you end up just being a menace to society. I'm just trying to be like some sort of robot Adonis. Like, you know, maybe with
Or
like, I don't know.
I'd make my body like just so many like features, weapons, and stuff that everyone else is like, wow, that's really impressive. Can you do that to me? Like, do it all myself. So I'd get myself as a qualified doctor and then just install everybody's implants in weird places that they don't need, like give them a coffee machine in their
So
armpit and shit like that.
you would commit medical malpractice, is what you're saying.
Yeah, who's going to stop me? I've got the best spring loaded legs in all of Nice City.
Maybe stuff like that, you just be co-opted by a government. They just like you would immediately be just like in a fucking cell, and it's like, listen, you either work for us or we just offer you at this point. That's 100% what happened.
I'd go up
I don't
to
know.
policemen and just like fuck with them, just tell them that there was a crime going on down the street when there wasn't, and then when they come back, be like, "You lied to us." Be like, "Sorry, I got hacked, pal. Sorry."
That's the thing that I was thinking though as well. Like, if you were fully like roboticized apart from certain bits,
Yeah,
imagine how weird it'd be if you had like big metal legs and just like a fleshy cock and balls.
Jesus, man.
Imagine how weird that'd look. It
Yeah, I
looks
don't see. For
it's
like my
super weird.
spring-loaded legs, I'd probably just have the lower half of my legs. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
like
make a lot of
you have
myself to be a robot unless like I was in a horrible accident and I needed to be.
this
Uh,
is what I think. Like the same thing I was thinking about hands as well. I feel like joints and stuff, yeah, but like I feel like bits like I don't know. Like to be honest, even feet could be like metal. I wouldn't care about that.
yeah,
But bits like your hands and like your face and your parts and your bum as well. You'd want them to be fleshy still, wouldn't you? You
yeah.
don't
I
want them to
guess
be.
like one good thing, one like good approach to it was like keep things that are already pretty solid and just replace it with metal, like your skeleton and stuff like that. Maybe like
Yeah,
just be normal, but like have everything with hydraulics in it. So like I look like I've got a regular arm, but I punch with like the force of 1,000,000 tons.
yeah, that'd be sick. But then
So
imagine how much conflict there would be if this was a regular thing. It's like
yeah.
everyone would just be scrapping. It'd just be like going down the pub, like, "Are you looking at me funny? Like, I've got these fucking robot arms. Yeah, well, I've got these legs with knives in them." It's like, right, have it out there.
Yeah, but you know there'd be levels to it. So like one guy comes in with titanium fists who just caves in some bloke's head because he can only afford like a copper skull.
Mate, if we were in a cyberpunk future, I would 100% just be. You would never see me again. I would be just inside one of those weird like implant chips, just like yeah,
Cumin.
have, yeah, just Kerman. I would just be. I would just be like. I'd be logged in. I would be more terminally online than I am now. I would just be logged the fuck in constantly. Just like, oh, you want to come like out to this bar or something? Like, nope, I'm playing this insane video game that I'm logged in online. Like, and then afterwards, I've got a hot date with like an AI.
This is the fucking Star Trek holodeck discussion all
It's
over.
going back to that again. All roads lead back to Coombe, right? Like
Jesus.
all the roads lead back to Coombe. I'm sorry, it's just how I work. It's how I operate. Right? It's just
Well, I believe on that bombshell we should
I'm
probably
gonna.
wrap
It
it up.
should really wrap up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
That,
James, what are you doing this week?
well, it's last week of work actually.
Nice.
Last week of work before the holidays, which is good. I got a couple of weeks off just to chill out,
Yep.
all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm just winding down the work. I will be streaming again. I've been streaming. So here's a little interesting thing, right? Um, I was streaming Portal 2 stories yesterday. It's like a Portal 2 mod.
Okay.
And someone's made like their own entire story. It's got really good ratings. I had so much fun playing that, and I was just thinking to myself, I just want to stream some more like weird shit and just some like stuff that maybe I
Yeah.
normally wouldn't play. So we're playing that. Maybe I'll figure out something else. Might even play Phoenix Wright soon. I have the Phoenix
Hey,
Wright
great
collection.
game.
Yeah, I feel like just playing fun shit. I feel like just like playing some silly shit. But yeah, I'll be on stream over the holidays as well. Twitch.tv/JimothyZ. This is the first time that I'll have been home for the holidays with an actual PC.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to like game and stream and stuff whilst I do this. Other than that, just being a jolly lad over on twitter.com/JimothyTV. Yeah, just being a jolly fella, posting fun stuff,
For the
posting pictures of
Christ of
myself in
Caesar.
my Boba Fett helmet over and over and over again.
Nice.
Because I unpacked my Boba Fett helmet today and I didn't realize how fucking big it is. It's an actual helmet. Um, I thought it was like just a like a toy or something that you can just put on the side, like have it as a decoration.
Yeah.
No, it's a helmet. It's a full blown helmet. Yeah,
Just go and
yeah.
fight
What
crime.
about yourself?
So not much happening with me this week. From Monday to Wednesday are my last 3 days as working for Ubisoft as a community manager. It's been 5 years. So, in the words of Vinnie Jones, it's going to be emotional. Spoiler alert, it won't be emotional. I'm fine with that. Um,
Vinnie Jones.
in the hit movie Condemned, after he bamboozles Stone Cold Steve Austin and jumps down a crevasse to escape, he shouts, "It's going to be emotional," just in case you get asked to
How
jump it.
how do you remember this scene?
Because it's a meme in the wrestling community.
I don't remember what I did like 20 minutes ago, let alone like.
But yeah, so that's the exciting thing happening to me. Then I'm off all of Christmas, and I start working for the Irregular Corporation in the new year, which is a cool company to take indie games and help them get to their publishing point, which is really cool. So helping the little guy. They're also part of the Mediatonic company that publishes Fall Guys. So I'm under that umbrella now. I'm really excited for that. In terms of article writing, haven't done any over the past few weeks, but as I'm off from the 16th of December all the way to January 5th. I'm probably going to knock out a few articles here and there. I'm probably looking to write about more stuff about cosmic heroes, so keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's me. Not much happening, just chilling.
Knock him out the box, Luke. Knock
Knock
him
them
out.
out.
Remember that?
Yeah,
I,
dude.
I think I still know all the words to that.
Great.
I'm Yoda. I'm a soldier. Anyway, next week we'll do a full Star Wars gangster rap
We'll
cover.
do an entirely Star Wars episode. How do you feel about Baby Yoda finally coming out with his name as Glup Shitto?
What was the name of there was a name of like some of the Star Wars characters have amazing names. There's someone in Jabba's palace that has like a really stupid name. I can't remember the name of it.
I
There's
can't.
there's like
My brain just keeps going back to Glup Shitto. Like whoever thought of that as the fake name for Baby
did
Yoda is a genius.
someone actually think of that?
Yeah, they edited the I think it was a image on Google. You know, when you search something and sometimes it comes up at the top before all the links. And somebody put glub shit over there.
I mean, there's stuff like Salacious Crumb and stuff
Yeah.
who's just gold. Obviously Max Rebo, but there's what's that other one that's like I don't know if he's part of Max Rebo's band, but he's got a really stupid name. Um, oh, he's got a really dumb name. Like he's called like Shithead or something. I can't, I can't remember what he's actually called. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got a really, really just like bad name. Like, he's just called like Fat Boy Shito or something. I really can't remember, but I will try and figure it out. Next week we will do a oh god, there's a character called Co Bibble. Um, next next week we'll do a full Star Wars gangster rap cover. I will do the parts of Yoda. Um, I'll just do Yoda. I'll just
Right.
be Yoda.
Well, goodbye, everyone.
Yoda, why you being a player hater? See you next week, everybody. Bye bye.
Goodbye.